we lost the stream there for a bit. I've restarted it. Hopefully we're back on now. Not to worry, we had just come back to town to sell some things. So yeah. Dump some stuff back in our stash. And I don't know. Here, Qualtech has something to say. Thank you. Okay, so Larzik will add sockets. That one is finished. Prison of Ice is completed. Anya will personalize an item for us. Now we have to go through the rite of passage, which is to find the ancients at the Ariat Summit, which fortunately already found the way up to the Ariat Summit. And it is right here. So these are the ancients. We have Korlik the Protector, Madok the Guardian, and Talik the Defender. And this is the way into the Worldstone Keep, but it is barred. It's locked. So the only way to get in there is to prove our worthiness to the ancients.
We are the spirits of the Nephilim, the Ancient Ones. We have been chosen to guard sacred Mount Ariat, wherein the world's stone rests.
Few are worthy to stand in its presence.
Fewer still can comprehend its true purpose.
Before you enter, you must defeat us.
So, these are the ancients. On normal, they're not too bad. We've already killed one of them. But they can be a little bit tricky because you have to fight all three at the same time. And they move around a lot, and they can do a lot of damage if you get caught in their attacks. Madok does a throwing attack. Korlik does a leap attack. And Talik will whirlwind. Do that kind of spinning attack.
You are worthy. We augment your skill
And grant you entry to the interior of Mount Ariat, wherein lies the world's stone.
Beware, you will not be alone. Baal, the Lord of Destruction, is already inside.
The Archangel Tyrael has always been our benefactor, but even he cannot help us now. For Baal blocks Tyrael's spiritual presence from entering the chamber of the World of Stone. Only you, mortal, have the power to defeat Baal now. Baal threatens the World's Stone, and through it, the mortal realm itself. You must stop him before he gains full control of the sacred stone. With it under his control, Baal could shatter the boundaries between this world and the burning hells, thus allowing the hordes of the primevals to pour forth into the mortal realm like an unstoppable tide. If you are weak,
as you know it could be lost forever. You must not fail.
Alright, no pressure. So, they give you basically a free level up for killing the Ancients, which is great. Keeps you at the experience amount that you had previous. And now we have to go through the Worldstone Keep. And find Bale and defeat him. And that will finally be the end of the game. You can see in our quest log, find Bale's throne. And of course we go down a dead end. So typically, I think, you know, if most people will beat Act 1, or not Act 1, normal difficulty, somewhere around level 30. If you're going through at a pretty reasonable pace, not killing every single thing, but doing most of the quests, you'll be somewhere around level 30 when you complete normal. And that's good. I mean, level 30, 40, somewhere in there, you should be able to move on to the next difficulty setting without too much trouble. If, you know, if you get to the end of normal and you're having a hard time, that's a sign that maybe, you know, need a little bit better gear, or your build isn't very good. But like I said, some people, you know, they just wanna get to the end of the game. Some people don't ever play higher difficulty settings. They just play on normal, and that's it. But knowing how many other things are still in the game in terms of gear and skills, and being able to really maximize your skill build and become quite powerful. To me, I think the real fun in the game is getting to the higher difficulty settings and beating those. And the Assassin is just, you know, this build of the Assassin is just really one of the best classes to do it, because the gear that, you know, it's not super gear dependent. You don't need to have any like specific items in order to be powerful. Like, we could take all of our gear off practically and still be. Yes, we would lose some of our damage because our Leaf Staff is giving us the +3 to fire skills. We would lose some of our run walk speed without the stealth armor on, and certainly our resistances would be really not very good if we didn't have all the gear that we're wearing right now. But we could still beat the game. You know, things would go a little bit slower, but we would easily still beat the game. Just because, you know, this build is really safe. The casting the traps at a distance, and here is a waypoint. This is a great waypoint. I should be able to make that jump, yeah. It's a great waypoint because farming Bale and the Worldstone Keep is really good. You could farm this all the way up to like level 50 if you wanted to. And is that a unique? Sure looks like one. That is the Kelpie Snare Fuskina, which is a really nice item. It slows the target, adds to life, and it's ethereal, so it's even more powerful in terms of doing even more damage than it would if it wasn't ethereal. That is a really nice mercenary weapon. It's not a weapon that you would probably use yourself if you were, say, an Amazon and using a spear, because it's ethereal, and ethereal weapons will degrade really quickly. But this is a great weapon to give a mercenary, because they can use ethereal weapons, and they don't degrade the durability. So cool. That's a fun find. We may... The Act 2 mercenaries, the ones that Greys had in the desert, they're the ones that can use pole arms, spears. Anyway, as I was saying, the Assassin Trapson build is, you know, the way that you cast things from a distance, just the sheer damage output that these traps do, without having to, you know, get into melee range and all that kind of stuff, makes it one of the more user-friendly, or I guess I should say, new player friendly, or you know, first time through the game friendly types of characters. There are other characters that do incredibly well once you have some basic gear built up. You know, you can make some really nice paladin builds that can get through the game quite quickly, using melee attacks if you have a handful of melee items. Like if we had a full Saigon set with the additional attack speed and life and things like that that it provides, that's a great thing to have if you are a physical damage dealer. And here we go, we leveled up again. So we are level 30 now. We're going to beat the game probably at level 30. Again, pretty much right on schedule. And we found the way down. So this will take us to the Throne of Destruction, where, well, not quite to the very, very end, but we're pretty much on the precipice. This is the throne room where Bale sits. Before you can defeat him, you have to defeat all of his minions, of course. Won't come out and face you while there are other bad guys still around. But then he will laugh at you. And he will send you 3 waves of monsters. And that guy, of course, is fire enchanted, so, or fire immune. So we'll see. we will see if Paige can handle it. We've leveled up quite a bit. And you can see she is level 19, and we are level 30. So actually, I don't even think if it's worth trying to do this with her. No offense, but I think she's going to just get wrecked. So I'll keep these because I can give those to another mercenary. But we will go to, since we found the Kelpie Snare, go back to Loot Go Lane. And we'll find a mercenary from Gray's. And you have some options here for what kinds of mercenaries to get. They're all going to do jab as their primary attack, which is just going to basically hit them multiple times, hit an enemy multiple times. But they have an aura that they will also have active. So this one has Defiance, which just increases the defense, which is, again, mostly worthless. This is Prayer, which will slowly regenerate the life of you and your party. That's okay, but the one that we really are going to want here is Blessed Aim, which increases the attack rating for you and your party. Which, the main reason we want that is because it will make the mercenary, it will buff their own attack rating as well. So let's just go with Ilzan here. And hopefully he will have enough strength to be able... Actually, no, he can't even use this. I forgot. He's level 29, so he can't even use this. I should have looked at that more closely. But we can at least equip some of these items. And let's go to Rogoth. But the Blessed Aim will mean that his attack rating will be significantly higher, even though we ourselves are not using anything that would require attack rating. Let's see if Larzik... Cool, thanks, Larzik. Let's see. This is plus 87 to attack rating and Mana Steel. Enhanced damage. Minimum damage and attack rating. That one's pretty good. I think we're going to go with this Steel Pike of Measure.
I'll put that to good use.
Alright. So, hopefully, he'll be able to make pretty quick work of Colenso the Annihilator here. Oh yeah. Couple of hits and he's gone. Now, one of the subsequent waves here will probably take him out pretty quick, although we're doing a ton of damage. And that wave 2, one of the boss that comes there, the Unraveler, does just an absolute ton of poison damage. You can see we got hit there with poison, and then we were down to like half health in no time. And I'm gonna just run out here because, again, he will just stand there and take fire damage from those guys like just got nothing better to do. the assassin being able to just lay these traps down right on the spot where Bale is going to summon all of his minions. Yeah, he's not going to survive these guys. They're... Yikes. Just keep running them through the traps. Now Lister is Spectral Hit, which means that he will do additional elemental damage on his hits, but he will also... It also gives him additional resistances. So that combined with his already high life total, means that he just takes a while to kill. But we got him. And Bale just keeps laughing. And now it's time for the final showdown. Kill Bale. Do our usual thing of throwing our traps up and letting them do most of the work. These festering appendages are just really annoying too. We go. So, this is going to be it.
I am impressed, Mormons. You have overcome the greatest challenge this world has ever faced and defeated the last of the Primeval. However, we are too late to save the World Stone. Bale's destructive touch has corrupted it completely. Given enough time, the World Stone's energies will drain away and the barriers between the worlds will shatter. The powers of hell will flood into this sanctuary and eradicate your people and everything you've labored to build. Therefore, I must destroy the corrupted World Stone before the powers of hell take root. This act will change your world forever, with consequences even I cannot foresee. However, it is the only way to ensure mankind's survival. Go now, mortal. I have opened a portal that will lead you to safety. May the eternal light shine upon you and your descendants for what you've done this day. The continued survival of mankind is your legacy. Above all else, you have earned a rest from this endless battle.
Let's go back to Haragath real quick. I'll get to you, Deckard. And then we'll finish with the legend himself, Deckard Cain. Alright, so these are fire resist and poison resist, and a little bit of strength and dexterity. Technically, I guess these are better, but required level 32, so meh. This is really nice. This is 20 to life and 20 fire resist, and it's another piece of the Saigon's complete steel set. So we're going to equip this, and you'll see we get additional defense based on character level as a set bonus, and we also get 10% life stolen per hit as part of a set bonus. So this is great. This gives us 52 attack rating. The lifesteal and the attack rating, those are things that really don't benefit us at all because we're not hitting things, but you can see how a melee character or even a ranged character would benefit a lot from that. So having two of these Saigon's pieces is really nice. I am going to, this fire resist 22, this lightning resist 14. Fire resist 22 really isn't any different than I think the fire resist 20 we get from this, and the 20 to life is really nice, so we'll sell that. I'm going to hang on to the 14 light res just because we might need that at some point. Do one last check of Anya's gear here. Max damage, lightning resist, magic, or sorry, mana, and then damage and attack rating. Nah, nothing here that we really need. That's completed. Anya will personalize an item. You know what the heck, we will let's just take these boots. And actually, we're going to get rid of these too. We don't need them. We'll never use them. That's our lightning resist. And we'll put these boots in here because Charcy made these for us. And they are personalized Havoc Trample boots. Which is really dumb. It's a glitch in the game. What it's supposed to do is say Danziel II's Havoc Trample boots. But it doesn't. It says personalized Havoc Trample boots. This is a glitch that's specific to Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I think it might even be specific to the console version. I hope they fix this at some point, because it is kind of cool to have your name, you know, or your character's name on an item. This is just dumb. And it bothers me every time I see it. That's why I didn't waste it on something that was actually really good. I'm going to save it just for the heck of it. But, yeah, it's it is what it is. Okay, let's go back to the Worldstone Chamber. And I think we've done everything we're going to do here. And we will step through the portal. All right, congratulations. Danziel II will henceforth be known as Slayer Danziel II. Get a little name change there. And then it kicks you back to the opening screen, the character selection screen. So now when we hit play, we have an option. We can play the game on normal or on nightmare. So apparently the effect of the World Stone being destroyed is that you get to relive your whole life, basically, but with harder monsters. I don't know. I'm going to go back to normal for just a minute. Before we move on to Nightmare, there's one more sort of important thing that we need to do. Actually, we can do a couple of things. Looks like we leveled up, too, somewhere in there, so... or I maybe just forgot to spend my skill points. Keep doing that Wake of Fire. And we are going to go to Stonyfield. You may recall, this is where we went through the portal to Old Tristram to rescue Deckard Cain. Yeah, those stones were right up here. And of course, everything we do here will just have no chance. Go into Tristram. Again, I mean, we can stand here and these guys will just never even hit us. We must have something that does Thorns damage, because that's what they're all doing. They're all hitting the Thorns damage. They're doing a tiny bit of damage to me, but they're just going to kill themselves with the Thorns damage. It's kind of comical. Because we're such a higher level than them, they have basically no chance to hit us. we're going to come over here to clear these guys out, otherwise it's really annoying. Hey, a small charm. Why not? Wart's body. A whole bunch of things pop out, including Wart's leg. Back to the rogue encampment. And we buy a town portal tome. And we put Wart's leg, 3-socketed Wart's leg at that. They're not all 3 sockets. And a tome of town portal into the Herodric cube. We'll see what happens. Transmute them. And there's a portal that opens up to the secret cow level. This is one of those kind of Blizzard memes. And this has been in the game since the beginning, as far as I know. The secret cow level, where you can go and run into a whole bunch of really angry demon cows. And these cows are kind of entertaining because there's a ton of them in here, and they have a tendency to just bunch up and be incredibly susceptible to area of effect stuff. But what makes it great is just the density that you get from killing these guys. They can drop all kinds of things. I think the cows are like level 28 or something like that. So guess what? That means that if a broadsword or a crystal sword or a longsword drops here, it will also be something that you can use a socket quest on. Use Larzik's sockets to turn it into something that you can use for a, that you can use for your spirit sword. Take a look at these blade talons, just in case. Nope. And some of you may have caught it there. We're doing so much damage that it's kind of hard to see certain things happen. But in that pack there was the Cow King. And it used to be the case where if you killed the Cow King, you couldn't do the cow level anymore. So you had to be careful, because the cow level is a great place to, especially they will drop. And there is a superior crystal sword that just has. I was really hopeful that would just have 4 open sockets in it. Cow level is a really good place to farm item bases. They will also drop runes. You can see that they dropped a couple of runes there. But because you just kill so many monsters in here, even though their individual chances of dropping something amazing are not very high, and you can see they actually get pretty good experience too. You can just do cow runs over and over for quite a while. And you'll get all kinds of stuff. So what I like to do is just gather up a big ol' crew of them here. And they're all dead. Check this trident. 3 sockets. just one socket. Another here, kind of decent sized group. And by far the most efficient way to do this is to kind of herd as many as you possibly can into one area. They'll drop lots of gems, just all kinds of goodies. They don't drop as many uniques, so if you're looking for a specific unique item, you're more likely to find it by farming a specific boss, right? Like, this is where you would look to kill Andariel or Mephisto, or maybe some of those kinds of guys. If you're looking for something specific. Like, if for whatever reason we were looking for that Kelpie snare, Fuskina, that we found, or Fusina, then, you know, which, again, I don't know why you'd be looking for that specific weapon, but let's just say that you had some kind of build that was based on it. You'd be much more likely to find that by just target farming, you know, Mephisto or Bale, even, in order to get that specific item. Just gonna check this battle bow. Keep finding just single. I don't key. So, one other thing that you can do, and I will do that, I'll do it just here in a minute. Once we complete this cow level. As you can see, this isn't going to take us much time at all. And a giant sword, I believe you can put Spirit Runeword into a giant sword as well, but you wouldn't want to, because a Spirit sword, or because a giant sword is a two-handed sword. And the whole benefit of Spirit in a weapon is that you can put it in a one-handed sword that will also allow you to use a shield. And you won. Oh, well, there you go. That was, I don't even think that came out of a cow. I think that literally came out of this boulder here. So that is the unique U-wand. So we have done basically one whole round of cows. There may be just a few others somewhere, but again, the goal is not necessarily to kill every single cow in the cow level. It is just to achieve by volume alone. Cold resist 5%. Yeah, I'll hang on to that. That's great. That is terrible. Alright, so, that's what farming the cow level looks like. And so there's all these, you know, kind of Blizzard memes of, you know, there is no cow level and stuff like that. Yeah, this is, I'd rather have the Berserkers. This is the unique U-wand, which is probably really great if you're a Necromancer. 30% faster cast rate. That's as good, if not better, than you'll get on a Spirit Sword. You get additional Corpse Explosion and Amplify damage, which are great Necromancer skills. And you have plus 40% lightning resist. So this is a nice weapon. And it's only required level 14, so this is an awesome wand for a Necromancer. We may have to start a Necromancer at some point here, just so we can use this. one of the fun things, right, about this game is you'll find things that will kind of inspire you to make something else. Cold resist 28. That is really nice. That's definitely worth keeping. 16 to life. Nah. Left energy. No. 4% lifesteal. Nah. So we got a few things that are... There's another one of these 10 FCR rings. We have 3 regular diamonds. And actually, I'll show you this because we now have 2 Tal runes, and we have a Ral and an Ort, so let's go ahead and do this. If we go, you'll see we've got a 3-socketed shield. So if we go Ral, Ort, and you can remember these are the 3 runes that Qualkek gave us. Ral, Ort, Tal. That gives us Ancient's Pledge, which gives us a bunch of cold resist, a bunch of lightning resist, a bunch of fire resist, a bunch of poison resist. And 10% of damage taken goes to mana. This is a nice shield to have when we get our Spirit Sword to use with it, because it just is going to boost our resistances up by a whole bunch. Really good. And let's see, do we have an Eth rune anywhere? Because we actually have a Shale rune, and we're high enough a level. Don't think any of these are an Eth rune. Because there's another rune word we can make, and we will make, with a Shale rune. Normally the Shale rune is the hardest part to get. That would be really good as well. So, one thing I want to show is, again, we leveled up Vitality and more Wake of Fire. We can save and exit, make a new game. Again, just on normal. And we'll do the cow level again. And this time we are going to increase... Before we do that, let's go get... There's no point in killing these guys because they won't give us really any experience because they're too low level. Did I go the right place? Yeah. It's... Where was it? Now I'm lost. Now I can't remember. Oh, I went to the Cold Plains, not the Stony Field. I gotta go to the Stony Field. I was wondering why it wasn't there. These guys won't give any experience, and all the items that they drop will probably not be useful to us. It's pretty dumb. So there's really no point in doing anything here. Diablo 2 does not use level scaling like a lot of modern RPGs do. The levels are fixed in terms of what the level of the monsters are in each zone. And as I said, at these low levels, these monsters are just such a low level that you're just not going to really get anything useful from them. So, we'll go ahead and do this again. Ort's Leg. And Town Portal. And we will do the options. And here is where we're going to go to actually in game settings. And we will up the difficulty scaling. And we'll put it up to players 5. So this is going to make it seem as though there are 4 additional players in this game in addition to me. And you'll see the cows will have a little more health now. They're still gonna die, but it's not instantaneous like it was before. And it may not look like it, but they actually are going to drop more items. Because what happens when you increase the number of players in the game is you increase the life of all the monsters you're fighting against. You increase the experience that those monsters provide, because that experience is normally divided amongst 4 additional players. Look at that, a crystal sword. Wonder if it's going to have 4 open sockets. Anybody have any guesses? What do you think? Nope, it's just 2. Well, oh well. We try. And there is the Cow King. He showed up on here for just a minute. And you can usually tell where he is because he's lightning enchanted always, so he will spit out those charged bolts. And you can see we can kill him on, you know, on this difficulty setting, and we can still access the cow. So that's something that they changed for the sake of making, you know, Diablo 2 Resurrected a little more user-friendly.
No.
So anyway, what actually happens here is having additional players in the game, it doesn't mean that every monster now drops like 2 or 3 times as many items. What it does is it reduces the chances that the monsters will drop no items. So there's always a chance when you kill a monster that they won't drop anything. And as you add players to the game, that chance goes down. So it effectively adds more to the game. Now let's see, short war bow, 3 sockets, poleaxe, maybe, no, 3 sockets. Broadsword, 2 sockets. Nope. Never lucky. And you can see we leveled up again, because we're getting quite a bit of experience now from killing all of these cows with additional you know, giving additional experience per cow. Because the game is treating it as though, you know, it's not just me in the game. There's 4 more player characters. But of course there aren't, so that means all this wonderful loot and all of the experience is just going to yours truly. And the chests will also drop additional items. Longsword. 3. I tell you, it would be great to not have to spend another longsword. 2. It would be great to not have to spend a socket quest. Because that's a valuable quest. We're only going to get to do it 3 times. Once on normal, once on nightmare, and once on difficult, or once on hell difficulty. So it's great if you can, and see here, we can't put any more points into Wake of Fire. We have maxed out Wake of Fire because every one of these skills can only have 20 hard points into them. So they can go over 20 from items. You can see we're actually getting skill level 23 out of this because of our leaf staff that's giving us +3 to fire skills. But the base number there is 20. You can't put more than 20 hard points into this skill. So now we are stuck having to, the only way we can make our Wake of Fire do more damage is by giving more, putting more into our synergies. So what the heck, we'll go ahead and grab Wake of Inferno. I think each of those, whether it's Fire Blast or Wake of Inferno, will just give us a straight up 10% damage buff. There's a soul rune. Check this Warbow. That's 3. Trident, actually, that's a spear, so that won't work. We're still doing okay on potion. Battle mode, that's 2. So you're just gonna go through here and see. We're also looking for, and I'm sure there have been several that have dropped already. This Great Helm is probably an example. Nope, that's a single socket. We're also looking for a 2-socketed helmet, especially now that we got a soul rune, because there is... Let's see what this horned helm is. Ooh, a full helm! This horned helm actually is a barbarian only helm, so we're not going to be able to use that. But this full helm is a unique helm. So we'll have to check that out when we get back to town. Could check it out now, but I'd like to keep everyone in suspense. You see, there would be a regular, where did it go, broadsword. If we hadn't found one, that would be something that we could take to Larzik in order to get a 4-open socket sword. Because all of the cows are level 28, which means that the broadsword they drop is level 28. And it has to be level 26 in order to get the maximum number of sockets in the sword. Now, broadswords and longswords, they can both have up to 4 sockets. Crystal swords, actually, which is another one that we could use if we find one, they can have up to 6 sockets. But in order to have 6 sockets, they need to be at least item level 41, meaning that a monster... check this Bardiche. Nope, don't care. Meaning that a monster who's level 41 has to, you know, it would have to be higher than level 41 in order to drop it. Again, one of the nice things about doing the cows is that they fall right into that special area where literally any sword they drop, as long as it's a plain white sword, doesn't have any sockets in it, you take it to Larzik and he will give you for sockets. And I say any sword that drops. What I mean is any sword that is one of these that fits into 6 spaces in your inventory. So long swords, broadswords, and crystal swords are one-handed swords that will fit into that spot of your inventory. So that's probably enough cows for now. Actually, we haven't done this either. They've added a new thing to the game recently that didn't exist until Diablo 2 Resurrected, and actually one of the patches, one of the most recent patch that came out, has these zones where there are that are called terror zones. So let's do that real quick. First things first, we're going to put the difficulty setting back down to 1. Just so that you can get a fair sense of what this is. So this is Dusk Deep Full Helm. This is a really nice helmet. All resistance is plus 15, damage reduced by 7. Gives you a little bit of extra damage if you're hitting stuff. A little bit of extra defense. This is definitely an item that we're going to want to wear. Because you can see, compared to what we have now, our fire resist 25, I'd much rather have all resistances plus 15. So put that on right away. Cold resist plus 7, another nice small charm. Cold resist 7, cold resist 5, poison resist 5. I think we get rid of this one. We don't really, it's not really helping us anymore. Poison resist 6. In a large charm, I don't think that's worth it. But this small charm, cold resist 7, definitely worth it. Cold resist 14. Lightning resist plus 4 and 8 to life. That's pretty worth it. 3 to attack rating. Nah, this is not a good charm. 7 magic find, not as good as the other one that we had. 1 to max damage, no. Attack rating and energy, don't need that stuff. Max damage, no thank you. Dexterity, not important. Cold resist 17, I think we have a better cold resist ring. So, you could just farm cows a whole bunch if you really wanted to. Like if you wanted to level up to like level 45 or something like that before you started Nightmare. You could totally do it. Look at this. We've already got our Ort Soul, which we can use for the lore rune word for a helmet. We have Tal Thul Ort. We just need an Am rune. And we have Shale, and we just need an Eth rune, and we can make a shield. And the great thing about these rune words is they give you a way to kind of get guaranteed good items. You don't have to just sit and farm and farm and farm and farm until something like, say, a Dusk Deep drops. This is, I mean, honestly a great helmet. You could probably beat the game with a Dusk Deep. Getting 15 all resistances in your helmet slot is definitely valuable. But if you didn't find this, you could make a lore helm. You see, we've got the Ort and the Soul rune. We didn't really have to farm that much for it. We've got both of these. And just by going through the game, you pick up items that will allow you to make stuff that's usable and beneficial for your character. So, let's check out the terror zones real quick, just to show what that is. It's in the message log. So it says here that goes down to the bottom here. So with corrupted tremors are in the far oasis. So if we go to our waypoint, if I go to the far oasis, this zone will now be terrorized. And what that means is the monsters that we run into here, they're going to have these sort of Diablo markings on them. meaning that they are terrorized monsters. And terrorized monsters are basically leveled monsters. Where for each difficulty setting, they will go up to, and I don't remember what it is for normal, but I know that on Hell, basically, the monsters will go to, they'll go all the way up to level 99. Which is another really great way to farm endgame stuff, because one of the difficulties you run into when you get to really high levels is that there just aren't that many places in the game. Before the terror zones, there were really only a couple monsters in the game that were level 98 or 99. So when you got to be really high level, it was really hard to find monsters that would give you decent experience gains. Now, it's a little bit easier. Because you can go to these, well, it's actually significantly easier, because you can go to these terror zones and fight monsters that are leveled to your level, which means that they're going to do a little bit more damage. But the practical implication really is that they just have more life. And they also drop higher level items, right? Because they're leveled to your level, so in the instance where you were looking for, you know, if we were character level 41, then the monsters we'd be fighting would be level 41, which means that if they happen to drop a crystal sword, and we took it to Larzik, it would give us 6 sockets and not 4. So and a lot of this stuff, you know, it just, there's no way to know it in the game. You just have to kind of figure it out by playing, or, you know, read about it online. There's a route room. Okay. It's possible that we could just find an Am rune by doing terror zones. Normally, you get your runes by farming the Countess. But now you've got another option. Typically, you're not going to farm these terror zones at normal and nightmare difficulties. You're really going to focus on terror zones probably when Hell difficulty comes along. Because, like I said, there just aren't very many places that have high enough monsters to kill. Whereas, you know, lower levels, you know, in the game, if we were making our way through the champion pack of beetles, these guys will probably get a whole bunch of experience. If we were making our way through on normal and said, you know, we'd like to level up some more, we could just do bail runs and go through, you know, go through the Worldstone Chamber and kill all those guys again, and that would give us monsters who are probably at least level 35, if not up to the 40s. So that's what the terror zones are. Just another thing to do, you know, in the game. More places to farm stuff, or either yourself or subsequent characters. So next time we get together, probably won't be for a little bit, but the next time we get together and play with this character, we will probably, let's just see if there's anything. I don't think we picked up anything special here. Nope, this poison resist and gem, so stuff this stuff in our stash. But yeah, next time we will try to start tackling Nightmare difficulty. We're level 32. Nightmare is fun. It's going to get more challenging. The monsters are going to have more resistances. There's going to be more monster density in general. And you know, there'll be some gear that we need to kind of get either by you know, making rune words or farming things as we go through Nightmare. But by the time we get about midway through Nightmare, we will pretty much reach the peak of this version of the character, in that our Wake of Fire will be basically maxed out, and we will have to scale over into... We'll do probably our first respec as we make our way through Nightmare and start using lightning traps instead of the fire ones, because the lightning traps, the main lightning trap we're going to want to use will be Lightning Sentry, and it does more damage than Wake of Fire does as you get to higher levels of it. Like I said, it just scales better in the end game, because it's a level 24 base spell. You can't even get Lightning Sentry until you're level 24, whereas Wake of Fire you can get as soon as you are level 12, I believe. Generally, the spells or skills that are lower on the tree are more potent. And the other benefit that Lightning Sentry has is that it gets an 18% bonus in terms of synergies from the skills that precede it. So by the time we get to Hell difficulty, this will be pumping out, you know, by the time we put 20 points into this and 20 points into that and 20 points into Lightning Sentry, we'll be pumping out a significant amount of lightning damage with these traps. But the lightning damage will not be enough on its own, because we're going to start running into, when we get to Hell difficulty, we will start running into monsters that are completely immune to lightning. So we'll have to find a workaround for that. But all of that is ahead of us. So I hope to see you back whenever that is, and we'll go into Nightmare. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the first time, if it's your first time checking out Diablo 2. Maybe you get a sense of what makes this game fun. And if nothing else, it was just good to have you along for the ride to check out the story and see what all the fuss is about. Take care, everybody.